Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to make this Feel Better Real Soon card. You could also make it as a happy birthday card. You could do whatever you like for a greeting, but I've been doing birthdays, so I thought I would do a slightly different one. So for this card, I got the idea from Pinterest from Franziska 2010 posted on Flickr. Slightly different than what was on the Pinterest, but it is my take on it. So for this card, we're going to need a Sahara Sand card base. Then we need a piece of old olive cut to 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 because I want just that really narrow border around. And then you need a piece of Very Vanilla cut, sorry, it's not 5 3/8, it's 4 1/8. So this should be 4 1/8 by 3 1/2. So it's 4 1/8 by 3 1/2. And this piece you're going to stamp on and then you're going to tear. But the first thing that we need to do is we need to stamp the background on the old olive. And I'm using the Cottage Rose Bundle. So I'm using the flower and the Feel Better Real Soon, as well as the die. This die, although it's a larger piece, you can use it to cut out the smaller flower with it. So I'm going to take my old olive and I'm going to stamp the Feel Better Real Soon just below middle. So I'm just going to stamp that down. There we go. And I'm going to stamp some leaves on here. I'm just going to come around it. I don't need to stamp a lot because most of it's going to be covered up by the Very Vanilla that we put on. So I'm just going to put in a few leaves where I know they're going to be seen. So that's it with the old olive for now. And we can actually take this and we can mount it, or we can just put it off to the side and work on the rest of the card. And I apologize, I do need the old olive still. So I'm going to just stamp on the Very Vanilla piece, just coming in all different ways. I'm also going to be stamping with some Mango Melody on the card itself. So I'm going to take this and put it off to the side. I'm going to grab my Mango Melody and I'm going to stamp some flowers on this. I can stamp off the page. You can decide if you want, how you want the flowers, if you want more flowers, less flowers, how you want it to look. I've put more flowers on this one than I did on the other one, and you can decide which one looks better. I also, on a piece of Very Vanilla, stamped 2 flowers in the Melon Mambo, like this. When you stamp them on your paper, if you're using a scrap of paper, stamp them this way, because then when you come in to cut them with the die, you're not cutting into the other one with the other pieces of die. If you stamp them this way, or even up and down, when you come in to cut them out, you're going to be cutting into your other piece. So if you have them both on the same piece of paper, make sure you stamp like that so that you can cut them out like that. So just a quick tip, comes from how we use the punches with the multiple pieces on them as well. So I just took this piece and I just tore it. If you've got a tearing ruler or something with a jagged edge, you can use that. I just tore it like this. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to build the card. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of my flowers here. And if you want to know how I learned that little trick about stamping them this way, is because I'd stamped them that way and then I couldn't cut them out, which is why there's flowers on the back. Paper has 2 sides, so you've got 2 chances. And sometimes I need them both. So there we've got the dimensionals on. So we're now going to put this card together. I'm simply going to take my adhesive and I'm going to just wiggle some adhesive on, put a little bit on the edge as well, and I'm going to line it up right with the edge of the old olive, like that. Same with the top piece, a little bit around the edges, like that, and then some just along the bottom. You can curl this edge up if you want to. You can leave it plain if you want to. And the last step before we adhere this to the card base itself is I just used a brush and brushed on some Sahara sand. It's very, very subtle, but I think it just kind of completes the card a little bit. So I'm going to just make sure I'm brushing off because I don't want lots of color. I just want that little bit, just the little bit of shading kind of on it, just to take some of the brightness down a notch. It is a get well card, so you can be happy and perky if you want to, or you can just do it as understated. So I'm now going to take the dimensional tape off and put this on. You can put one on, you can put two on. I'm going to pop one right here, and you can decide if you want to put the second one on, you can. This one's going to cover up most of the leaves underneath, but that's okay. So if you like it with one, you just do it with the one. If you like it with more than one, you add more than one. Your card, your call. You can change out the colors. You can do, you know, the sky's the limit. Whatever, if you're making it for a specific person, whatever their favorite colors are, you can use their favorite colors. If you wanted to do it as really bright and chipper and happy, you absolutely can. Again, my videos are a guideline, and you can do it however you want to put it together. And I just need to pull this over a little bit like this, so I've got that narrow margin all the way around. There we go. And there is our Feel Better Soon card using the Cottage Rose Bundle. So thank you so much for watching, and we will create together again soon.